Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Rapid Fire Blitz USA. Hope you're all good. Do you realize one thing, that we are sitting on the verge of nuclear war? Alright, many people, they say ignorance is the bliss. So many people I know that they take the war between Russia and Ukraine. And I can assure you that mostly like 70 to 80% people, they do not read the news on war anymore, because it's become like a boring topic for them. But it's really very concerning, it's really very alarming, I can tell you that. The recent developments now, it's really very alarming. Putin is actually giving the continuous statements one after another. The first time he told that I will not hesitate to use nuclear weapons against anybody if my people and my country is under threat. And to say my people and say my country, I can go to any miles. So that is all clear, that he will be using them when he will need them. All right. Second thing, recently he just told, he declared that the Belarus president requested him to deploy those nuclear weapons in Belarus, and they are already doing it. They are in the process deploying those weapons on the border of Belarus. So it's like, we take this war between Russia and Ukraine, but this is not actually between Russia and Ukraine. The war is gone beyond. Everybody knows that, and Russia also knows that, NATO is actually helping Ukraine to keep up with Russians. Ukraine would have long gone against Russia. Russia, they didn't have a chance to stand against Russia, but they are still there in the battlefield because of they are being helped from outside. And Putin is directly blaming America also, everything is being decided in Washington, and Ukraine, Kyiv is just doing that, and Kyiv doesn't do anything on its own. Everything is directed from Washington DC. So any threat or anything, any kind of statement which Russia gives or Putin gives, that is actually against NATO or America. So this war is not in between Ukraine and Russia anymore. So what does it mean? It means that when Russia takes one step, NATO will take two steps, because they are not going to sit and watch what Russia is doing, deploying the nukes on the borders and putting the whole region under threat, and they are just keeping quiet and watching it. No, they are not going to do that. They are going to deploy their warheads too. So this is a chain reaction. You just do certain things, they will do a little more, they will little more, he will do here little more, and then one day, little bit confusion, somebody will trigger the button and everything is over. Even Russia is thinking that he will use the tactical warheads, in the limited to the region in Ukraine. But America has already declared that any kind of use of nuclear weapons will be a full-fledged nukes. Considered nuclear attack. It's not that you are using tactical, regional, or you are using on a wide spectrum and all. They don't really care. So it will be taken as nuclear weapon attack, and then consequences will be very, very drastic and very, very dreaded. Anyway, so where does this thing ends actually? That's the problem now. How this thing can be averted? And I don't see any solution to this problem. one one side is doing certain thing, another side is doing double of that, and then it keeps on escalating. The only solution for this problem will be that one nation, actually one side, is getting defeated drastically, like it happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. At that time, during the Second World War, they just dropped that fat boy and little boy on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and war was ended actually abruptly within no time. So this time also it can happen, but who is going to lose? Who is going to get defeated? Russia? No. Russia will they have declared it already that they will defend their country, and to defend their country they will get exhausted all their nukes before they get devastated, like Hiroshima and Nagasaki was done. Another side, Ukraine is not going to, people will not let Ukraine to get down. So I don't know really what's the solution and how it can stop. If you just quote the statements of those people who created this nuclear bomb first time, the people who tested the bomb, tested the power of this nuclear chain reaction, it was Julius Robert Oppenheimer. In 1942, I think 1942, he just tested it somewhere in New Mexico, here in America. So at that time, when he saw the tremendous power released actually through the explosion, he was seen quoting that Gita's slokas, that I have created the destroyer. He was a learned scholar of Gita and Bhagavad Gita, and also those Vedas and all. And he was he was basically German guy, and he was ousted actually by the Hitler, and he was a German Jew actually. So he was ousted by the Hitler, and he had run away from there and had taken shelter in America, and then I don't know, he had, or his parents, I don't know, I don't have an idea, I don't have that information. Anyway, so he was here in America, and he just he did the test and all, and then when he saw the tremendous power released through this nuclear explosion, he even went to the president of United States, the then president, and he told that I have blood on my hands. So the American president actually took it that American president has the blood on his hands, and he thought that he's ridiculing him, and he was very angry, and he even told his security people there to just throw him out from the office. But that thing is actually, he could only realize, other people didn't realize it. The person who created the power and who tested the power, he only could realize it. Also, Einstein, Albert Einstein, when he heard the news that they did the test, and the test was successful, and it just released a tremendous energy, but all effects were there, he also realized, and then he was heard quoting that mouse should not create its own trap. So you can imagine those scientists who were the pioneer in making this nuclear bomb, they were afraid themselves what they have created it, and now I think this is a high time now, and these powers are sitting, and any time these powers can be detonated, and I don't see any solution to the problem really. The only thing, some countries which are actually neutral, like India, and those countries can just play some vital role diffusing this tension. I mean, they have to have the nerve to say right to right and wrong to wrong. And so this is the only solution could be like at this moment, because it's not, China is also there. I mean, China is kind of showing that it's neutral, but it's not neutral. China has its own like vested interests. Somehow China is actually backing Russia, and but China is like cunning, you know. I mean, they have their own interest, because China wants it. China wanted them to like fight, you know. So China could, you know, attain, or China could just get to that position like number one, like superpower. So China won't even diffuse that. So the people like, you know, peaceful people like India, they can only do this. And we have a great hopes from Modi. Actually, Modi can bring out about a change in the attitude of the people. They will listen to Modi. Russia will listen to Modi. United States will listen to Modi. But the problem is very, very complicated here. To understand this problem, you know, it's Russia and Ukraine. Just consider them two brothers. All right, they were living together. Then they got separated. Okay, this part is yours, this part is yours. Like suppose we are living in Punjab, okay, and we had like two brothers are living in Punjab. They have a combined land, like, you know, common land. Then they divided the land. Okay, this is your part, this is my part. Now one of the brothers is actually bringing their kind of old age enemy, like, you know, and giving the shelter there. And that enemy is actually kind of pointing the gun on the other brother. So this problem is here, like, and we have to just see to the get to the root of the problem actually. And we have to just give kind of security to Russia also, like, okay, hey Russia, I mean, you don't have to worry about, like, you know, we are not going to, if the Ukraine is in that, just leave him alone, like, you know, why to add Ukraine in NATO? Just leave them alone. Anyway, Ukraine wants to be in NATO, but NATO countries, they are not actually agreeing, and they have not added Ukraine in NATO yet. But then what is this all about? What is this all about? They are not putting him in NATO. They are not adding him in NATO also, and still these, like, you know, war is going on. I mean, very confusing. Everything is very confusing. So anyway, we need to get to the roots. Everybody need to sit together and solve the problem. Cannot just force somebody, like, you know, Russia cannot force Ukraine cannot force Russia, you know, to just accept their bills, what they think. They need to sit together. The whole world communities need to sit together and solve this problem and save the planet, because this will be a chain reaction, like, you know. Then what will happen with India and all? Do you think that India will be like aloof and India will never be touched? No. The people, like, you know, when there will be chaos in the world, China will try to take the advantage. China and Pakistan will try to take the advantage. They will at that time, like, they will attack together India, because they know that Russia is occupied, USA is occupied, whole world community, like, the world community is occupied with their own problems. And at that time, like, China and Pakistan together, they will try to harm India. And India is same way. Then India will not be sitting like quiet. India is also nuclear power. India will do the harm as much as it could do. But then I don't think that China and Pakistan together, India could do really. India could really resist them both, from both sides. So, these people are going to take the advantage of the situation. I can tell you that. So let's think positive and pray, you know, that this should get diffused soon. This war should be over, and the world should be safe, and we save the planet. Already we have many problems with this planet, you know. There's a temperature rise everywhere. Asian countries and South, like European countries are like burning in hell, like, a lot of temperature rise and, climate change due to this climate change. This 2 degree Fahrenheit temperature in the world is already up than those pre-industrial times. So just wanted to share my views with you guys. It's not that I have some solution, just wanted to just spread the awareness, that's all. Thank you very much for listening to me.